Hello and welcome to Monday Club. I'm finally back from working away, so no need to worry, everyone. The podcast is going to be great and excellent again, as it used to be. We've got Fat Sam in the house, unfortunately. He managed to run 5K in a week instead of a day because he's got
5 miles.
Sorry, Sam. I was talking. 5 miles in a week instead of a day. I've got Craig with us. Nice to see you representing, mate. Nice to see you again. And Queen Daenerys off Game of Thrones. She's here. How is everyone?
Good.
Well, first of all, I am very fat and very unfit, and I've never done running before since like school. So I've had to sort of break into it. I've blown out my knee. I've done all kinds of stuff. It's been very difficult, but I'm persevering. So
I'm the same. I've got bad knees. With you doing this, are you just doing loops on the road? No, I do.
No, I'm saying I don't have bad knees. I just have developed one.
Oh, well, see, I've got bad knees from playing rugby, kept popping my kneecaps out. But I used to find if I wanted to do, let's say, 3 miles, I would literally just go run around a field.
Yeah,
as boring as that is, because it's so much easier on the knees.
Yeah.
When I go running on the beach. No, I don't.
It's even worse. You don't go anywhere.
Right, this is a boring conversation. Anyway, no one cares about a fat man waddling around Margate trying to run. Craig, how many miles have you done?
I've stuck to my 5K every night. Well, I did 6K in the first night, and then I did 4K in the morning the next day, and then 4K at night. So I'm kind of getting there.
Yeah, is that because you're powered by Iron Brew and Buckfast?
Yeah, Buckfast and Mad Dog.
Yes. And well,
my average is 1,000 steps a day.
1,000 steps.
So bad.
1,000 steps is roughly 6 kilometers. 10,000 steps is about 6 kilometers.
So literally, yeah, my average is 1,000 if I'm lucky. Normally just below. Some
you found
days.
This on is that on your phone?
Yeah.
iPhone?
Yeah. You type in health on the health app.
Anyway,
back to
welcome to Monday Club. Like Nick's terrible intro, where it wasn't.
Well,
it was okay. It was okay, but it's led us down a path of nonsense. We've got some interesting things to talk about this week. Craig, now you put up an interesting post this week on social media, saying 2 interesting posts actually. Number one, Number one, an EICR is like a MOT for your car, but for your house.
Oh, I saw this. I saw that. It's nice.
Yeah.
Do you want to elaborate on this?
Well, what I'm trying to do is make it easier for people who don't know what an EICR is, make it representable for them. So like girls in letting agents or guys in letting agents or private homeowners just genuinely don't have a clue what an EICR is and the advantages of getting one done and how to be safe. So the best way to describe it is probably the same way as an MOT is for your car. So that's...
Do you feel it helped the industry when they changed it from a periodic to an EICR? Because a periodic inspection, if you said it to anyone, they can go, pretty much gather what that is. But as soon as they changed it to EICR, it was like, oh, okay.
But is it the exact same thing or not really?
No, but they got rid of the periodics and the EICRs replaced them, but more in depth. Sorry, Craig knows way more than me with this. Go on.
Well, I maybe not so much I know more about it, but at the same time, I think people understood it more when it was a periodic inspection because it says it in the title, it was a periodic inspection of your electrics. With an EICR, most people can't even say it correctly.
Yeah.
An EIC or an EICR, they just really genuinely don't know what it
is. Well, I suppose when you say like, because what does an MOT stand for? What does MOT stand for?
I'll be honest, I actually don't know.
Exactly. Like, and it's kind of the same thing with that as well, because like EICR sounds dumb, but when you actually talk about it properly, electrical condition report, isn't it? Inspection and condition report.
Electrical installation condition report.
Like that's pretty self-explanatory.
Sam didn't even know what it was called.
Now, do you know what? I'm charging up my phone because it's just about to run out, and I'm looking up what MOT stands for.
Oh, me too. Have you got it?
No.
I was about to, but
continue talking.
Yeah, so I think it's a good analogy to let people understand because you need to get an MOT done every year.
Apparently something to do with Ministry of Transport.
Yeah, it's what it says. Created the test as a means to determine whether cars sound. Yeah, anyway, boring story. Go on, Craig.
So a lot of people have took or basically commented on that kind of post or slider to say, hey, hiya. To say that they kind of get a bit more of an understanding from posts like that. When you're trying to put it into different content, people get a better understanding. So it's worked for us.
Yeah, I think it was a really good analogy to put out to the industry. I'm sure it have ruffled some feathers. But
Honestly, that's a bad thing to see the negativity you get from it, because
Really?
then, honestly, the amount of DMs I got on the side on mainly LinkedIn, Instagram generally not. LinkedIn is terrible for people trying to slate you or bring you down.
So I didn't see it. I saw the post. I saw the Instagram post. I was working away at the time, so I was barely on my phone anyway. But what is there bad to say, in my opinion? If I saw that, I thought, what a great way to show homeowners, not so much sparks, but homeowners of what is entailed with, why we having them, especially with the landlords and everything. But from a sparks point of view, I can't really see a lot wrong with it. What sort of stuff was being said?
It opens that door to say that people are like, you're kind of doing a flyby kind of test report. It's a lot more inclusive than just a quick MOT. But our clientele, we're trying to educate the people that use us, not the people that are in the industry. If you're in the industry, you should know how to do an EICR or what it is. We're trying to educate people that don't know what it is in a way that's easy to learn.
See, I think that's a real key point, actually, because the reason you got so much pushback on LinkedIn probably was because there's a lot of management on there, not so much sparks, but your management sparks are on there, and your company owners and stuff. And I feel like there's like a spell that was cast over the industry a little while ago, that talks about, everything's got to be done to the highest standard and more unethical and stuff like that. But I think when you look at what business is, and I'm no business guru, but this is just my observation, probably nonsense. So, but when you look at business, you've got like a line, and on one side of the line you've got the high end stuff, and then on the other side of the line you've got like, just trying it on sort of stuff. But that line is right in the middle, is where you need to be. So you can't always offer above and beyond for your customer, because if you did that all the time, you won't be profitable. So you have to have this sort of balance where you can give a good service but not sell yourself short. And I think
so you're still going home at 5 o'clock. Yeah. I've been there and we've struggled with it before, because you need to offer a great service and be reliable and punctual and everything on top. But equally, you don't want to be there till 9 o'clock. You still need to make a profit. I'm trying to balance this backwards and forwards with Adam. So we had a lot of discussions, and we were talking a little bit about working away, because there's a few things I want to talk about with that, which are interesting. But with price jobs and day rate, so this is what comes in, and we were chatting about it because we were having a bit of a chin wag. Oh, shout out to Kip as well. Kip's a massive watcher for all of our channels.
Yeah, big fan.
Awesome guy.
I like him.
And we're having a good chat about, where do you stand? When I started, it was day rate, and then it went on to price work. So we'd price per point, as most sparks, domestic sparks will sort of go socket, point, light, point, down light as 1 point, and going it that way, and how much you could make in a day, or how much you could lose in a day if you do in a price job that, say, one job could take you 3 days, but you thought in your head it's a day, you lose work. And we were going through day rates as such. I said, there's only so much you could do for a customer in a day before it gets to 6 o'clock at night. You're getting tired, you start making mistakes, and you still need the quality of work there. And it was finding the balance I had to go over the years of, I've been at people's houses at 11 o'clock at night. They were allowed me to do downlights and whatnot, because I'm going on holiday in a few days. And it's just learning when you're going to burn yourself out to the quality of workmanship. But equally, it's not really professional in my eyes. If you're at a customer's house past 7 o'clock at night, it just shows that something's gone wrong, or you haven't got time, do you know what I mean, to pop back and do it. I don't know. It's not professional in my eyes.
There's also another thing that bugs me as well. Like, to do a really good EICR, probably customer needs to pay for 2 people 500 quid minimum. Like, to go right on like a 3-bedroom house and all that, go right through it, inspect everything. But the market value is just not there. There's just not there for that to happen, to like a full 100% EICR on everything, take everything off, check every single connection and everything like that. That's what a lot of people espouse the EICRs to be, but the monetary value just isn't there. So you have to find a balance.
Well, I mean, look how many houses there is in the UK. How you actually, there's not enough electricians
Nowhere near.
to get every property done. I mean,
do you feel that if you, right, say you do 100% board test, 25% in the field, and dropping off 10% faceplates, which I'm led to believe is pretty satisfactory. Not great, but pretty satisfactory. I'm talking out of turn here, so don't shoot the messenger. What I'm saying is, do you feel you can get a safe understanding of the installation from dropping off the faceplates, from doing the board test, 100% of the board test, dropping off 25% faceplates, or even 50% faceplates, and the other bits and pieces that go along with it? Is that possible?
Experienced, yeah. If you're experienced, because obviously then through dropping just those few, you would know already what the state is and you can apply it to the rest of the installation. Do you know what I mean? But if you're not experienced, you might open that up and think it's okay, but then you might not think, oh, look, this extension here is new and I've opened up a lot of the sockets here, hence why it's a different standard to the rest of the house. As well, looking at the age of installation as well, that's a big one that I think a lot of people get wrong, that are not very experienced. They'd be like, oh, look, 15 years because the colors, that it's older colors, but then they might not understand that this installation is 35 years old. So it might look okay, if you're just dropping a few faceplates and whatnot, but somebody that's more experienced will know that this is a very old installation, probably more than 30 years old. And then, you kind of...
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yourself to take a deeper look.
Because when I go into, I do what I call a lot of low-hanging fruit, which is like local jobs, changing light fittings, little bits and pieces, putting dimmer switches on and stuff like that. Just what I call low-hanging fruit, 50 quids here and there. And I'm happy with that. I'm happy with my industrial stuff and my domestic stuff like that. When you go into a property and you go to where the board is kept and it's all dressed in nicely and all like that, generally that the pride has been taken with that installation there, and all like the switches and spurs and all that are nicely done. And then when you drop off the light, 9 times out of 10, it represents what you see in the fuse board. Do you know what I mean? And then, do you not
agree with that to a point?
There's a lot of board changes that have been done just to get it up to standard to pass.
Not necessarily the board, but all the bits going to the board and stuff like that. If it looks nice and presentable in the cupboard.
Well, I don't agree with that one at all, what you're saying there.
No?
I find it a lot of the time, like the fuse board will be like, all right, but it will just be done by somebody who just changed the fuse board to put a sticker on it and get it a pass. And then the rest of it is an absolute shambles. And for sure they did not take any of that off to test it.
No,
I've come across it too many times.
Last week I actually was doing some EICRs last week. The one I could tell there was something not right. Brand new fuse box and brand new cabling in the fuse box. And the first light switch I took off still had VIR cabling. So behind the wood, there was just joints in every cable.
Yep. I've had that before as well.
That's not common, right? But it's still there. But I think majority of rental properties are small flats or small houses, roughly the same. If you're doing work for like housing associations or whatever, then it's usually the same build quality all the way across. So an EICR shouldn't really take that long if you're in a small flat. It really shouldn't take that long. And if you're doing it in two people, if two people are doing it, one person inspecting, you could probably take off just about every socket or light switch. If it's an empty property, there's nothing stopping you doing that. And if you're
very easy.
Yeah, and if you're on walkie-talkies, me and you have talked about this before, if you're on walkie-talkies and you're doing it in tandem, it is quite an easy process. It's nothing difficult about it. It's difficult when you go into different style properties. That's the problem. But if all you're doing is testing all the time, you're in and out properties, you'll get a feel of the area because they're built by the same builders or the same council.
Yeah.
And you do get a kind of feel for what you're doing.
Yeah, I find that in London. I know which areas already. I straight away know where I don't want to do EICRs. There's an area called Fulham and Battersea. These are pretty much central London. A lot of them were built over 100 years ago. those properties are horrible to test.
Yeah.
The ceilings are super high. The fuse boards are normally in like some back cupboard through the loft, back down again sort of thing. The installation as well, it's normally quite old. So yeah, those tests in those areas are quite difficult. But then like you get the other areas which are more like new built in the 1960s, 1970s, sort of smaller, contained. Those are good. Those are nice to test.
Like. The 70s, 80s are the ones I like. They're actually
they're literally the best. They're the best. Standard 2 sockets here and there. And then you'll go into the old ones and it'll be like 5 sockets, but one of them will be like some cupboard behind somewhere. And do you know what I mean? Like they didn't really have like a
Just, I'm going to throw a wee question out, right? Ground floor flat, no RCD protection, and sockets like in the kitchen at window level or like next to the door.
It's a C2, isn't it? It's a C2 because you can use outlets outside. So if someone can plug in a mower, a jet wash, anything like that. Equally, no, you could push it further. Cables less than 50 mil in the wall with no RCD protection.
I've done this, right. I'm going to put it all out here, right. I C2'd it, and the person who owned the flat was an electrical engineer in Dubai.
I bet he was trying to argue with it, right?
He argued, and he got our CP to contact us, and the CP went out and did an EICR with us at the property and C3'd the sockets.
Yeah, that's what my QS, he told me it's a C3. I C2'd it as well, but he said because there was no communal garden. Yeah, he said because there was no communal garden, it can't be a C2. If there was a communal garden, then I could have put a C2. But he said because there was no driveway anywhere and there was no communal garden, it's a C3. But then again, that's not really like a.
But this was my judgment. This was
exactly. That's what it is.
And sometimes I don't see things like that, right? I will be on this one line of caution for my clients, right? Because I think it's safe. But this time it was very, very clear that it was a socket put at the door to get used for outside purposes.
Yep.
But because there was nothing plugged in and nothing used outside, and it wasn't a communal garden, it was a C3.
This is the annoying thing with the grey area of the regs. It's the way you interpret it. And if we could, like you say, interpret it different ways, and then you only get one person like this and you look like a mug because your CPS has overthrown you. It's bad, that is. Well, it should have been sticking up for you, if anything.
Yeah.
Like for us, it was, and you know the way we were getting round about it was, so the guy, the CP said, oh, well, we could easily put an RCBO in for that circuit, or we could put an RCD socket on it, or we could have removed the socket, right? So for £100 worth of remedials, my name is getting tarnished for trying to do £100 worth of work.
It's bad, isn't it?
It's a funny thing because that's one of them ones that could have gone either way. Well, not gone either way, but like, well, yeah, it could have gone either way, and you could have like got the work or not got it. And I don't expect you're doing it to get that £100 remedial.
No, we don't want it. Actually, it costs us probably more in admin time, working it all out, travel time to go and get the stuff, go and collect the keys, go and do the job, bring it back, close the job down. The guys could have went and done something more profitable or more efficient than doing something like that.
What would like? Joe, what would tell me if this is a dumb solution to that problem?
Yeah, it probably is.
Why wouldn't you just put an RCD faceplate on it?
Well, that's what we. So on some clients we get a float that we can do it on the job, and this client there's no float. So we would have disconnected that and put a blank on it, or put an RCD's faceplate on it, or an RCBO on the board. We would have done it there and then on the day, but the client wouldn't allow it. So that would have probably only cost about 35 quid, 40 quid.
Yeah.
Extra on the day.
Yeah.
So I'm actually quite smart.
You're welcome. You get funny tenants who will literally just be like, oh, I've got nothing to do today. I'm in Dubai. The sun's out.
I'm going to argue.
Let's challenge Craig.
So here's another question.
I was glad it was me that did it, and it was me that had to face the questions and answers. Do you know what I mean?
Here's a question for you. How long should a standard 3-bedroom house EICR take 2 people?
Do you want me? Do
I
you
mean,
want me?
Adam, if I'm told the way we do
And
it,
be honest. Don't
about
worry about the spell. Don't worry about the spell. Just talk truth now.
realistically about 4 hours for the 2 of us. Quite easily. Faceplates off everywhere, fuse board, full test, up in the loft. We've got all the stuff. The good thing is the amount of kit we've got, it makes our life a lot easier. We use the Bosch Go to take faceplates on and off. That saves you a minute per socket and switch.
Yeah.
Quite easily, to be honest. And while I'm running around with the iPad, we did have walkie-talkies, but me and Adam end up FaceTiming each other. So not only can we talk, he can show me around things, we take around pictures. I wouldn't say it's far off.
So we price it for 4 hours, but we're on site for probably between 2.5 and 3.
Kimmy's on the phone. It's all right. Take a phone call, Kimmy. No problem. It's fine.
Sorry, do you know what it is? Okay, sorry. I've got my family, the kids running up and down upstairs, and like I can hear it, and I think you guys can hear it. That's why I keep muting myself. So I have to make a phone call to just let them know.
I think my Zoom's been downgraded.
I've seen that.
Yeah.
Unlimited minutes and all.
Still, it's saying upgraded to unlimited minutes.
Yeah,
That's what it says.
I just said it's been upgraded.
Oh, well, we pay for it every month. Maybe I didn't pay for it this month.
So we and some of our guys. So I've got two teams, right? So 4 guys, and they take an apprentice round each. They probably do EICRs in about 1.5 to 2 hours max on site. But remember, a lot of the paperwork is filled out probably by the apprentice in the van after, when there's a lot of notes taken down. And the apprentice is running around doing a lot of the inspections, taking things off, writing it all down, and 2 guys run about testing. See, when you see it getting done, you'd be surprised why it takes 1.5 to 2 hours. You'd think it'd be done a lot quicker. But we price an extra hour on top of that for admin and travel and all that kind of stuff. So that's where people fail with pricing jobs and doing testing, is the actual admin and time involved in it, and the travel time.
Do you think too much fuss has been made about EICRs and how diligent you should be around them?
I think it's always good to be mindful to keep everyone in the same kit boat, to bring this, to push the standard up, so that there's people that are not doing them. See, I brought guys on that literally can't do them, but say they have done them, and when you go out and watch them, they'll take 4 or 5 hours doing something because they're not sure of what they're doing. That's what you need to clamp down on. If you've got guys that can actually do it, and do it well, and do it quick, and do it to a high standard, it's a total different ballgame from guys going out and doing it but don't know what they're doing.
I agree with that. With when me and Adam started doing it, this was sort of the very first time when all the regulations changed that he's really ever done the ICR. We probably done one together because it wasn't very common for me to do them. But when we got through to the 30th one that we'd been given, he was on this. He knew exactly what he was doing. He was getting the iPad out. He was getting the tools ready. Already got the cover off. He's running the fly lead out to the bonding without even thinking about it. He was already, it was so much quicker. So much quicker.
It's good when when it all ties in. It's really good. But sorry for swearing. The bad one is.
Don't worry about it.
Is when you get a bad EICR, if you get a bad installation, that is what
takes a lot longer.
Sets you up. That's what takes the time. If you get into repetitive properties, it's easy. So I would say 1 in 5 is a total nightmare for us, and we lose a lot of money with them, because the guys are tied into going to another property after it. That they end up staying there all day, because we do deliver a standard. So you don't just rush through it, you actually do it properly, even if it's a bad one or a good one. So that's where we get tripped up, when properties are not done well.
And I found this the other day. We did one randomly, one slipped into the net, and I felt so sorry for the couple. They had smoke alarms weren't working, the lounge light wasn't working. They had 4 kids, 1 newborn. What else wasn't working? They couldn't use the staircase properly, and they said to me, "Ooh, just be careful on the stairs." I was like, "Oh, why?" She just said to me, "You look heavier than us, and it's not very well." oh my God, the stairs are like collapsing like this. So I just said, Adam, don't go up. And I ended up spending an hour there. We went and got bulbs out the van, didn't charge the landlord just for their safety. I had a spare smoke alarm. We banged it all in. I was like, the problem is people, landlords, and it's not all landlords at all, but some people are just still getting away with it. These people are paying good money every month to live in a safe house, and they live without bulbs in their lounge for over a year or smoke alarms, and the stairs are falling apart.
But for sure, I'm not sorry for people who live without bulbs in their lounge. Go buy some.
Yeah, that is.
Well, no, I know, but it's one of them things. You got kids,
that's
soft part of me.
Agent, that's probably a bad letting agent rather than landlord.
Yes,
the landlord doesn't know unless a letting agent's doing proper checks. Do you know what I mean?
To be fair, the landlord lived 2 doors away, so.
Yeah, well.
To be honest with you, though, I find that estate agents are the worst. Like, estate agents are the worst when it comes to looking after properties. Like, I've rented up until now, and they ain't interested. And the only reason things got sorted out is because I just did it myself. Whether it was, I don't know, fixing.
Yeah, like my trunk in here.
Please don't show that again.
Oh, no, we need.
Is that? Oh,
I had to fix it because the person that did, obviously I didn't use trunking bends and all because it's my own house. But no, this is rented. So whoever put the sockets in was done it all. Do you know what? Half my lights are flashing. Someone came and done an EICR. They forgot to put the pull cord back on for one. They just left the cables all exposed. For two, the light switch in the living room, every time I turn it on, it flickers. I know, like, they left all the cables loose everywhere and everything. And yeah, like the trunking they did everywhere was awful. They didn't even put trunking on upstairs. It was just like cables hanging off like this. So it's like, yeah, I had to be like, Sam, I had to fix it all myself because the landlords would not do it. And yet he had the cheek to moan, say, like, oh, you have too many cushions everywhere. Fire safety hazard.
Is that a thing?
What?
Yeah,
That's nothing to do with him.
He said it's a fire hazard.
Anyway, well, he's not a fire officer, is he? Like,
yeah, what's he know? Mug.
Sorry, mate. Put the pull cord back up. Oh.
You know what?
I ended up getting my mum to do the pull cord. I couldn't be bothered. It took me like 3 weeks to just get around and tell my mum.
Listen, if your mum ever needs
she's a builder.
someone to do the pull cord.
You know what? My mum used to be a builder and a plasterer.
Listen, if your mum ever needs someone to do her pull cord, just ask.
That was awful. I feel a bit sick.
Oh, me and Kimmy's mum got a thing.
Right, moving on from EICRs. Okay, because to be honest with you, I'm already. I know, Craig, it's your job.
I've done enough EICRs last week that's me for the full year now.
Yeah.
Can I just say one thing about EICRs? So no. You know what? You know when you have the Mantel units for the skeleton boards, right? Right.
Yeah.
Oh my God! I had to test one, and the thing was so painted in, I couldn't take it off. And guess what? Somebody came and tested it 6 weeks ago, and they put down for a full rewire. So we had to retest it because they kind of just ducked out and left the contract. So when I went there, I know the guy never tested it. He just put down for a full rewire because he just saw it and was like, "Yeah, forget that." So do you know what I wanted to do? I wanted to do the same thing because I was like, I can't take this off, but and I'm putting it down for them to get the in-house boys to do it because I'm on price. So I was like,
guess what? Cool,
no, bro. I know.
Oh, no, wow.
What do you want to talk about? Working away and how much money you earn and how hard you are?
Not really. Conversation about it and what goes with it, because obviously I didn't know much about it before. Obviously, I've been working away in Sutton, which both you two are meant to come to, and you both failed on.
Right? Can we just first of all, let's set the picture here. So Nick took a couple of jobs recently where he's worked away. This latest one.
It was a surprise as well. You didn't tell me. It was like I spoke to Kip, and Kip kind of dropped.
Yeah, yeah. Kip said, "Can you
let me finish speaking?" Oh. So for sure, let me finish speaking.
Sam,
careful,
bro.
Yeah.
No, you lot careful.
Careful! I take your Twinkies away.
I don't eat Twinkies. I'm on a diet and I run every day. So yeah, Nick. So Nick's latest one is in Sutton. Now, if I used,
can I say one thing before you carry on?
No,
you're right there, but the ice cream man.
Idiot. So if I lived where I used to live, it's like a 20-minute journey.
This takes to Croydon, isn't it?
Well, yeah, I wasn't really Croydon. I was like Caterham, and I could have just gone round it. Around 25.
Where is Sutton? I went to Google
Certainly is like West London. Well, not really. Southwest London.
It's west
Right.
of
But like
Croydon.
touching the M25.
Yeah,
It's next to
yeah.
Wimbledon.
It's basically out.
Right next to there.
It's
So-
Anyway.
an
So
hour and
I
a half
would
to
have
get there, and I live in
ordinarily I would have gone there. But I actually live probably nearly 2 hours from there. Not only that, my uncle's dying. So, you know, that kind of trumps going to see Nick.
Mm.
But I would,
Yeah,
I've got to
I'll
be
let you
honest with you, a little bit gutted that I didn't come and see you.
Oh.
I'm
I
glad
To be
Jimmy
fair-
did.
I wanted to come and see
He
you.
was, because the guy I'm working for, Gary, he is, and I'm not saying this because he does watch this and he loves all of you guys, and we all had a good conversation about you guys. He is one of the nicest customers I've ever worked for.
But he loves me.
He made it enjoyable. He helped
loves
us,
me.
like, tidy it. Shush, not you, Kimmy. Yeah, no, he does like you, Sam.
Of course.
Like, tidying up in the evenings. We'd give everything a hoover, but he'd go around, make a bit of an effort. He emptied the loft for us, and I try to explain this in the video. Customers with rewires, I almost want to do a customer for people that are about to have their house rewired is like what they can do to help. And I know you can say, well, I'm paying them money, but it's like if you move a few things, box some stuff up, they don't want to get damaged and move it out of the way, the electrician can get done quicker and you'll be out your house and get your house back together.
Yeah.
Anyway, just on that note, Jamie Curry actually provides a service to
But yeah, I seen that. He's cool in it.
The client has to pay for it, or he charges more tax for it.
I agree, though. I have that in my terms and conditions. I'm not moving anything, even my rubbish. I'm removing it as, you know, part of my kindness. Apart from that, it's not up to my client to remove. I just put him back.
Do you know what? It's funny because I done a podcast with Jamie, talking about the services he offers, because he does Jamie Curry, home rewire up in Scotland. They rewire houses in a day, or a day or thereabouts, but usually a day.
That includes plastering as well.
Yeah,
they do plastering. They do furniture removal, storage, pack it up, put it back. They take photos. They put it back as it come out. It is a phenomenal service that they really offer. It's fantastic, and he got a lot of stick for it in the beginning, didn't he?
well, massive.
Because like people were like, well, there's actually no way you can do a rewire in a day properly. But
he does.
And then there's a 60-minute makeover. They do a whole house up in 60 minutes.
That's just telly for you, Kim. That's not real.
Yeah, relax, Kimmy.
The same guys that are slagging him are the same guys that are slagging me.
Right.
Success breeds hate.
Yeah. So what I was getting at is figuring out. First of all, I've got family, so it's figuring out working away from that, which sucks. And it's funny because it's not funny. I was sat having a pint first evening with Adam, and Monday night, because we stayed over Sunday, so we could get up early Monday, and we come Monday evening, and the amount of builders and people in high vis and everyone walking in to come get a pint, and I was like, obviously these people are all staying in, sleeping in tonight. I was like, I didn't realize that so many people worked away from home to start with, like, genuinely, because I've never been open to it. And we were having a chat with a few guys, and he was like, oh yeah, it's just week in, week out. I only see my other half of my kids at Saturday afternoon when we get back, and then we're out the door Sunday evening. I was like, oh, that sucks. And he was like, oh, it is what it is. We follow the work, and that's just what our company does. And obviously, I felt very fortunate that I could be self-employed and pick and choose jobs. And he was a road worker, and there was another guy who was Spark doing temp lighting for transformers. I can't quite remember. And he was exactly the same thing. We just do this and we pick up and move around all around the country. And it was leaving the family, making sure they're all right to start with, but equally paying for accommodation. You're obviously putting that on top of the invoice. You've got a lot of food expenses. Obviously, I've got an apprentice, so I was paying for all of Adam's food as well, and then paying for him more because he's working away from home. I don't know, it's just your guys' thoughts. Have you guys ever done it or want to do it?
I have. I've worked away a few times. Like being a commercial industrial spark, sometimes you can get real good screws. But a good screw is like a real good job. Now, there's one of the best jobs you can get is these data centers in like Belgium and stuff, where you can go out there, you stay away, they pay for everything. It's all laid on, and you're earning like, I don't know, $2.5 grand a week, tax free, and all that sort of stuff. It's like there's some real good earners you can get on. But for me, I've never been able to do it. I worked away once in Liverpool, doing a DFS. And it was okay. Like, the guy I was working for was okay until we brought up this other dickhead to supervise a job. Do you know what he did? This is what killed it for me. Turns up, all giving it large, and he goes, You're Sam, aren't you? I was like, yeah. He goes, go and get my ladders out the van. I was like, bruv, you're a dickhead if you think I'm doing that. Big row about it. You're not a team player. I was like, no, you're just not mugging me off. Sorry. But egos aside, it is rough because it was 12 hours. It's usually a 12-hour day. If you're working away, generally a 12-hour day. You're putting it in, and then when you get back, it's hard not to go for a beer with the lads, you know, like down in the...
Spend your wages.
Yeah.
And then before you know it, it's almost not worth working away because you're doing 20 foot. Like if you have 4 pints and a bit of dinner, you're looking down the barrel of
40 quid,
£45, 40 quid, something like that. Do you know what I mean? That's straight away. So that takes almost some of the bunts out of it. So for me, I really, it sounds so wet, but I really miss my house, my dog, my wife, and my
I love the way the dog came first. Oh,
yeah, I just love my house and like my staff and things. But this was when I was living in my flat back in Caterham. But even like now, it would be worse. There's no way. Now I've got Harper and I've got my little family and all my staff and my perfectly trimmed hedges that I've done this weekend. Listen, I ain't playing. There's no way. You couldn't pay me enough. I probably wouldn't do it for 500 quid a day.
I did it for 10 years. That's why I set up this business, is because I couldn't work away. So I was working in Iraq. I worked first in Iraq first, then Afghanistan, then Dubai, then Syria, and then.
What was that like though?
So Afghanistan was brilliant. Iraq was really good. Syria was pretty bad. Zambia for like 3 months. That was terrible.
What were you doing now? Obviously sparking, but what?
Yeah, so I was a high voltage kind of switchgear specialist, or did maintenance, and so we went out there and done part of the infrastructure for the artwork when they were setting up the camps and the bases and did all that. So I was working for an American company called KBR, or they ended up going from America to Leatherhead down in London. Because a lot of kind of things happened, but did that for a while. Really good money, and you didn't have to pay for anything. But I was away for 12 weeks, so it was 12 weeks on, 3 weeks off. So you were only home for 9 weeks of the year.
Did you earn plenty of dough though?
You did. You earned a lot of money, but I spent it on. I spent it on cars, to be honest. Cars and.
Sounds like you, yeah. The thing is, I
get nothing to show for it. Nothing.
Yeah, I've learned now over the time, because my dad, before he went self-employed, he worked for a painting firm, and he was the same. He'd be gone before we were up before school, and he was back after we were in bed, and we saw him at weekends. And that's one of the key reasons he went, I've already missed out now on the first, let's say, 6 years of you growing up. Obviously, money can't buy that. Like, I get that now, seeing my kids. It's different for me. I'm not doing it every week. This is like a bit of a treat every now and then that we can go and do cool videos on for YouTube and work for guys that watch us, which is nice. But you can't buy the time with your kids. I already blink and the kids have grown a foot every week. Yeah. And it's true. Like, if you can afford not to work away and you've got kids, you stay at home and do as much time as you can with them.
This is my biggest thing at the moment with like, Harper's just over 2 years old now, and I don't work past 4 o'clock now. There's just no way. I want to be home. I want to spend as much time in the evening. I want to be present. I want to help her potty train. I want to do all that stuff. I want to be there. There's no, like, for certain people, I would go and work for them, like, you know, to help out, because, but I wouldn't choose to work away as like a thing. I couldn't do it. I just love my things. I love my family, and I just want to be around it too much. The odd week or two here or there is a different thing.
Yeah, which is what I'm comfortable with at the moment.
But do you know what?
Kimmy does a lot of hours outside of work.
I know you do.
And I take my hat off to you for the dedication and how much effort you put into it. You obviously get a balance that suits you, but you do work hours that people don't usually work.
I couldn't be awake at that time.
This weekend, Friday, I was out. Saturday, I was out all night. Sunday, I was out all. Saturday, I was out all day. Sunday, I was out all day. I came home last night at 9 o'clock, and I was in the same clothes for what, over 24 hours, and I didn't know what day it was. I didn't eat for 24 hours. The whole of Saturday, I ate Friday night. I had like a little meal deal, and then the whole of Saturday, I didn't realize I didn't eat. I was so busy working. That it was only Sunday morning I had breakfast, and I was like, oh my God, I haven't eaten anything. And then do you know what happened? You know when they talk about burning the candle out and stuff? For the first time in my life, I found out we have sinuses. Like I woke up and I felt like my head was full of concrete here. And then somebody was like, oh, that sounds like your sinuses. I was like, what are sinuses? Like, what are they? And after I Googled it, I discovered that from stress and lack of sleep, your sinuses can get all like funny. And it literally just feels like like the front of your face is filled with concrete. It doesn't hurt. It's just like pressure. It was so weird. But yeah, it was just like lack of sleep and this and that. I chose to work instead of be with my son. So the thing is, I dropped him off Friday afternoon, and I told him, listen, hon, I'll pick you up after work. I picked him up Sunday night. He was very upset with me. He said, look, you told me you're going to pick me up after work. And I said to him, honey, like I've been working 24/7 literally the last couple of days. I don't even know, like I've lost the plot pretty much. And I had to apologize to him and tell him, look,
Is it worth it?
Is it worth it? Yeah, because now I'm taking the whole week off. So obviously I made more than enough money this weekend, and I'm like, cool, the next couple of days I'm off.
Balance, but it's getting that balance right. But
exactly. But the thing is, I enjoy it and I have fun with it. And I enjoy that more than I do with the day jobs. I like the out of hours, and even that I lost my charger for the drill, and I don't want to buy another drill because I already bought a day walk drill as a spare, and I can't find the charger for that, and I don't want to buy a third drill.
I knew you were
so because of that I'm avoiding the day work until I find it.
But bruv, don't say day walk
my
ever
connection
again.
cut out, right?
Yeah,
we got you. You're frozen, but we've got you.
Yeah, Craig.
Yeah.
Was it a military contract when you was working in Iraq and Afghanistan?
Hey guys, sorry, I didn't realize my connection cut out.
Yeah.
No, we heard you. It's all right.
Yeah. So when I went to Iraq, it was with a Glasgow company called Turners, and it was facilities. So it was basically hooking up generators for FOBs, FOBs, or small bases, big bases.
Forward operating bases for those who don't know.
FOB is a fresh off the boat person.
Well, that's not what. Listen, that's not what we're talking about, idiot.
Not that K-pop podcast.
That's like that. Yeah, that was like me when I came over to the UK. It's like, yeah, guys, hey, I'm here.
Jesus. But was it exciting? Did you like?
It was really good. It actually, a lot of things happen from it. So the longer you stay there, the better jobs you get, the higher up you go. Then you kind of do. I ended up doing my own protection. I ended up doing close protection. So I went and done the courses, done advanced driving, and then ended up doing that for the last couple of years of Afghanistan. So,
mate, how fun was that?
I mean,
did you get to shoot anyone?
He didn't have a gun. Obviously, he didn't have a gun.
Yeah, he did have a gun.
Yeah,
you ain't going to Afghanistan without a gun, lunatic.
So my gun license actually ran out in March this year. That was 10 years. So it was good. I enjoyed it. Because I tell you why, we done our own protection. See, when we were going out into bases, you're in the middle of nowhere, and we had these pure meatheads that were like jagging themselves up with all sorts. And they were running about terrorising the local villages and the communities, and they're meant to be looking after you. Some were good, some I'm not going to say about everyone, but I was just like, I'm not putting my life in their hands. So
are you talking about like mercenary types?
Yeah, basically they were at it because they had a screw loose, and they were using us to they were up to no good. They were really up to no good.
Do you know what? Me and Craig are going to do a podcast soon.
We talk about that. Is that what you want to do?
We're going to talk about everything. We're
doing a podcast now.
We're going to do like a 5-hour podcast talking about Craig's experiences in life.
I'm a wee bit older. Do you know what I mean? So,
well, you're not really, mate. You're about the same age as me.
Oh well.
I've decided to eat my way to 40 rather than do stuff.
I mean, the work over there was good, but seeing one of the bases. So we were in one base, Kandahar, that had 7 different voltages. 6 or 7 different voltages. So I had European, I had North European, I had North American, American, then you had British, and then you had the Afghan, and then the Turkish. All
What's the
different.
Afghan voltage?
They basically just tapped onto fucking anything they wanted.
Whatever it is that day.
I'll show you some pictures. There was one where it was like a mains cable coming off the ground from the generator, and they'd actually spliced it, like cut away with it, and wrapped the cable round the core, like just wrapped a cable, and the inside one of the chalets, the metal frame of one of the bunk beds was live.
Oh.
I don't even know how. It was sitting on the floor. I just don't know how it was live.
That's mental, isn't it?
So you had 308 volts, you had 200 volts, 230, 250, 400. It was honestly nuts trying to remember all this.
Sounds like chaos. Listen, something we've been doing recently is game changers in game changing tools. And I don't think Kimmy or Craig have given us a game changing tool. Something that you've used that's a game changer, an innovative bit of kit.
Straight off the bat for me is my Matabe wall chaser with the triple blade. I know we've said this before, but doing rewires, you cannot beat it.
Yeah.
Is it that good?
Trying to tell Adam, I said, see all these chasers here? I said, before you came to work with me, all of this would have been done with a SDS, a spirit level, a pencil line, and then an SDS with a chisel bit in it. And he was like, how would you do it? I said, each one would take, give or take, half an hour for each chase to get the right depth in the brick. If the plaster wasn't thick enough, we're going into the brick. Some bricks rock hard. You could spend 10 minutes on one brick trying to get an inch and a half out of it. And I was like, now you could do a chase with literally a minute, floor to ceiling, done. No mess, no fuss.
Well, we used it. I'll come to your meanwhile. We used it. It is pretty impressive bit of kit.
I don't know. It's so many for me game changers over the years. Like an SDS battery drill was. I mean, that never used to
Showing
be.
your age now.
I mean, but
I was thinking, what? Are not all SDSs battery operated? What?
Now you're showing your age.
Yeah.
And then the ringing tool for armors. I mean, I used to do a lot of aircon units, and it would be rather than bringing a big hacksaw, it was just easy, just that ringing tool.
No, stop it, peasant.
Yeah,
it's just quick,
No. So.
Nah, just pure quick. I mean, I used to be like you, Sam. I would hate people that would use stuff like that, but if you're doing like 16 armors, like right in front of you, it's just quick.
Hold on, I feel like we just went past something. What did we just go past that was stupid? SDS
battery gun.
And then what?
He said about the armor slice. What was it about?
Armor slice. There was something else that was dumb.
There wasn't.
there definitely was. But we'll come back to it. Kimmy, what is your game changer? What has changed the landscape for you?
What has changed it for me? Can you hear me? Because I know my reception's awful.
Yes, we can hear you, man.
Okay, what changed, game changer for me, saving all that money, not buying veto bags and all of that whatnot.
I'm right, man. I hate those things.
Listen, I'm just going to tell you now, I'm a massive fan. Like, honestly, it's so sad how much I love my Velocity Pro Gear stuff. Like, I'm a sucker. Like, that's it. Like, when I first got my... So, years ago, me and Rick, the OG of podcasts, Ricky Howell, he was the guy who started this podcast with me. We got sent through by Velocity a backpack and a tech case, like a 2.0. And when they came, they came to my house first. I was like, I don't know what to do with this. Like, they are so lovely, and all the things and all these mad catches and all these big carabiners on them and stuff. Mate, they are so nice. Honestly, I was like, and because being the guy that I am, I was like, Rick, you can have the backpack. Doesn't appreciate it. And I had the little tech case. Mate, I still got that tech case today. And do you know what I've realised? It's not called a tech case, I know. It's called a 2.0, right?
No, I wasn't going to say that. I was going to add something after. Go on.
Do you know what I've realised? You know how women get about handbags? I got to have this Louis Vuitton handbag or this Michael Kors handbag. Whatever, right? I get it. I understand now. Like, a tool bag to a man, they're just so sexy. Like, honestly, I love my Velocity stuff.
I'm
Shout out
a
to Velocity.
tool belt guy.
So talking about Velocity, obviously I got, I think, every Velocity bag going, to be honest. But he messaged me the other week, and to everyone listening to the podcast as well, this is going to be in a video in a probably end of this month, maybe. They're giving me 5 electricians testing bags. So the one I showed off previously in the video, whatever.
I want to see that. That's what
That's a smart bag. So anyone keep an eye on the channel, because there's 5. They'll probably be sat here. They're coming next week. So next podcast we do next week, I'll show one off a little bit. But keep an eye, because they're epic.
Bags. Do you know what that makes me think of? Have you seen those little Apple tags that you can stick on like your keys and stuff? And
Yeah,
I've got them all.
That's what, is that what a smart bag is? Like, it would just tell you what screwdriver's missing before you leave the job. It'd be like beep beep beep. 2.5.
No, do you know what?
Like,
Just gonna
so
tag
yeah, I
on
want
to
to know
what.
what a smart tool bag is, because that's what I'd expect a smart tool bag to do. Tell you what tools you've left on the job.
For you.
But I just want to.
It does everything for you.
Does it
I'm converted now. I'm getting a veto.
Listen, I need to say
Velocity.
I don't know. What's a veto then?
No, the
The
wrong
American
bag.
version.
It's wrong.
Wrong one.
It's wrong. It's the wrong bag.
Well, they're not.
Honestly.
Okay, well, I'm sorry.
Going to just back, see the testing bag. Can you put your tester in it? Is that going to be a stupid question?
Yeah.
And put all your hand tools in it as well.
Yeah.
The hand tools you require.
A handful of testing tool, a handful of testing screwdrivers, long nose pliers.
I'm getting sent 10 of them to give away.
Roundabout with you. How easy is it to carry when you're doing testing? But
Very easy. It's got a hard top as well, so you can draw on the top or iPad on it.
Well.
Sticker section. You've got tape section. Tape measure bit for your lights. Fly lead section that you can hook on.
Stop! My connection's lagging as it is, and you're doing all of that.
I thought you were doing sign language.
Go on my channel, Craig, and have a look at it. Literally, it's labeled.
Or go on my channel, and you can see I'm getting 10, and Nick's getting 5. I actually spoke to Velocity today.
Don't go on my channel. I'm not getting any.
Well, because you can't beat me at anything. I actually.
I'm not gonna lie. I've never even seen one in real life, by the way.
Honestly,
Kim, I'm on Nick's channel right now.
Kim, honestly, I know you're such a free spirit, and I call you untethered. And I know you like to use your like snakeskin bag from Primark or whatever, but once you get one of these, it's a game changer.
Yeah. Okay. Well, when I get one, it'll be a game changer. Until then, I'm anti. It's just because I'm a hater. Really, I'm hating because I don't have one. That's it, really.
Nick,
Nick, I'm going to have to let you know. I'm going to have to skip the ads on this video just to see it. I never usually skip the ads, so sorry.
Nick, honestly, you need to speak to Tony and sort out Kimmy.
Okay.
Because she needs to understand what time it is. Like
it's Velocity time.
We're
Because
not.
you know what? I need a new tool bag.
Velocity.
I was gonna go in this week and treat myself to a new tool bag.
No, stop.
Let me have a word with him. All right.
Let Nick hook you up. Honestly, because I've hooked up too many people recently, so I haven't got no more hookups left.
Sam's run out of power.
I have, honestly. What's going on now? Yeah. I don't know. Someone's dropped something in the kitchen.
Go on, I want to see what Craig thinks. Come on, Craig.
I really like the vest at the start of the video.
Oh, it's just that I did an intro for the sponsor of ITS at the beginning, but it was the day when I was doing a rewire and I was so hot I wore a vest to work. And the amount of stick I got, well, to be fair, I got loads of nasty comments and I got a few comments of a bit odd, really. If I'm honest. From
I was going to say.
I'm just going to send you something.
I'm not going to say anything rude just now.
No, honestly, I don't know what you think you can say rude. I'm just going to send Nick something that's going to really piss him off.
See, I really like that bag for organisation, for taking it in and doing it right. But
yeah,
what I like to do my testing is an actual tool belt with the tester around my neck, and we use iPad with a strap, so it's got a gorilla case on it with a strap around it, and you've got a pencil, so that everything's on you at the time.
So this is so cute. Sam's just gone, I'm going to send Nick a picture, and he sent me a
Don't
secret.
say it.
No, I won't. Secret covert picture that no one's meant to know about yet. I got sent that 2 months ago, mate. Chill, relax, as you would say. Relax, Sam.
Don't be rude.
Yeah, but what you don't know is I helped develop it.
Okay.
So
What did they ask you to do? Is sit on it, see how much weight you could take?
um
Look at Kiwi's face.
So,
He said so much worse.
I would definitely buy those bags to take on site. Whether I would use it to go around doing the actual physical testing, I'm not too sure.
crazy.
Just
You know-
for then.
Good for organisation.
Sam, what you should do for this whole section is just either your face or my face is just have a picture of the tool bag where people can see on YouTube, because we're talking a lot about a bag no one can see.
this is
Not-
true. What
not
Make a note.
I'll
Test and
listen, I'll
inspection
sort it
bag.
out. Right, listen. I feel like we have come to a natural conclusion. We listen. If you've got velocity bag, you've got the right bag. If you've got veto, you're wrong. That's it.
Is this your quick fire question? Yeah, that made me laugh so much. And I was watching it with Mike. I took my my lad to a birthday party, and I sat in the truck outside. I took my iPad, I started doing some paperwork, and I saw the quick fire questions come up saying, "What's your favorite tool brand?" Wrong. What's your favorite tester? Wrong. And I was like, "You're such an arsehole," but it's funny, and I'm annoyed that I was laughing.
Do you know what though? So we've waited all the way to the end to actually announce this. So what we're doing is we're doing 3 bits of content a week. Number 1, obviously Monday Club comes out on a Monday. Number 2 is Electricians Unfiltered, which is a continuation of Monday Club, where we talk about everything and anything, nothing to do with the electrical industry. That's on a Wednesday. Then on a Friday, I will do a quick fire questions with anyone who's an electrician's mate, or an electrical apprentice anywhere in the world. Get in contact, and we will do quick fire questions round. Now, with quick fire questions round, you've got 14 questions to begin with, and they tell us about you. And it will involve me mocking you probably quite a lot, unless you're me and you get all the questions right. And then the 15th question is a technical question that no one's got right yet. We've got a few in the bag. Now, please, anyone, if you're a viewer of this show, take part. Send me a message. I'll even let Nick take some of the questions if you're a bit scared to be like interviewed by me or questioned by me. No problem. Maybe even the beautiful Kimmy will step in and do some of the quickfire questions. But at the end of the day, it's for our viewers to get involved. So hit me up. Hit
I
up
think that's
any
the
one of us.
first best idea you've had in a long time.
Yeah, it's a good one. Get involved, everyone.
Just because this is what Monday Club's about. It's about getting involved. It's about reaching out to people out there, and you know, it's fun. It's fun. There's no right or wrong answer really for the first 14. It's just I will just mock you if you get
Yeah, no,
wrong.
right, wrong, wrong, wrong.
So there was a lot of wrong questions.
Wrong.
That's right.
Oh, we got our first. I'm going to call them randoms, right? Don't get upset. They're randoms. They're not influencers or people who do vlogging. So we got Adja Sparky on Friday. No, last week we had. So it'll be last week now. So yeah, check it out. It's a lot of fun. It's just me being silly, really, and I really, really enjoy it.
Cool.
Good.
Monday Club.
See you later.
We're out.